fallen into fall, as I longed for a call on the phone I could barely afford. When you're an ASI for hire and no cases transpire, you're left faced with the hooch that you've poured. Still, not washed up yet, I combed the Gazette for a lead that might send word my way. But the tales in the paper like sidewalk great vapor often vanished with the dawning new day. And so did this mishap. I laid down the fish wrap, contented I'd wasted a dime. But I peeked through the blinds, saw autumnal signs, and realized beauty coexists with the grind. Just then, apropos, with a glamorous glow, a clueless dame dared into my dump. She walked in with a slink and I started to think she'd help me slip out of my slump. A blonde of fine stature, decked in mustard plaid hatchet, her ruby upper lip bowed in an arc.
You see, I'm being followed.
She theatrically wallowed.
For 2 nights, I've been tailed in the park. I work most of the week in a women's boutique, and the sunlight is bleak when we close. Walking my homeward route, the moon soon comes out, and it keeps a tense girl on her toes. On Saturdays we're busy, and my boss is so dizzy, she always needs me when she's in a clutch. So on Monday, I'm free to do things just for me, like relaxing and errands and such. Well, this Monday was my stop at Sirloin Chuck's butcher shop because I'd no meat at my place.
As her mouth kept yapping, I felt my brain snapping, and I wished she'd just cut to the chase.
A new butcher was hired for the one who expired. He was hairy and swarthy but sweet. I'd grown tired of gristle, so instead of dismissal, I flirted for prime cuts of meat. You have such muscular arms. Never thumbing the scale, he was reliably male and rounded down the weights for my price. The gal behind me was chilly, but it was innocent, really. I thought he was just being nice.
It's your lucky day.
But then 2 nights ago, in the lustrous glow of a moon, round and white as a pearl, as I walked, I looked back and beheld track for track, some Kodiak stalking this girl.
A bear? I asked her. She said,
I swear that his hair was as thick as a bear or a wolf. With no option to hide, I hastened my stride and set my speed to double hoof. Like some dark, archetypal, devoted disciple, I couldn't shake him or make him retreat. But then I turned a sharp corner, leaving him a forlorner, as I joined a small crowd in the street. It gave me a tingle, but I assumed it a single event I could forgive and forget. But last night, to my abhorrence, he staged a second performance. This time he was hairier yet.
I asked, you said he. Do you believe this to be the butcher who gave you the deal? She replied, with some guile.
I forget that my smile can so deeply affect how men feel. But I fear that it's worse. Like some mysterious curse, men get crazier in a full moonshine bath. And I'm afraid that he might have succumbed to this plight, and I've stumbled on part of his path. Will you follow me, please? I need your expertise, for tonight the moon's fullest at rise.
Yeah, I'll keep on the tread of this Harry, I said. And she unsheathed those teeth with bedroom eyes. So I guess that was that. She gave me my hat. Her mustard outfit led us down to the street, where she worked a caboose, and then keeping it loose, I followed, but made it discreet. As the twilight's last gleams faded into moonbeams and blue shadows, like some sea seemed to flood round, I scanned the landscapes for androgynous shades as I traipsed behind her like a bored bloodhound. Like neat a peeled peeper, yielded beans of a creeper, and I was tempted to throw in the towel, when something oddly weird, with a full-body beard, appeared to proceed on the prowl. By the street land's dim lumen, it seemed, not quite human, or at least only half human at best. This rare Harry was very disciplinary, as he tarried in his moonlighting quest. Then the doll took a glance, saw the monster advance, and she pranced faster, frantically flustered. The wretch ratcheted its ledge, and I struggled to catch it, to the pickle claiming this stain decked in mustard. I was in hot pursuit of the brute huge in her suit, when I yelled out, "Hey! Stop right there, Pally." Then it let me in ear, and decided to veer to the right, down a dim lighted alley. When I rounded that bend, I too found a dead end, and I contend with him, head to head, toe to paw. Though that monster cast doll, I hyperextended my jaw as I gawked at the next thing I saw. As thick shrouding clouds hovered, that full moon soon was covered, and I was wishing I had carried a net. As the beast came in range, I watched the thing change. This Harry was a Harry, eh? As she stood there in tatters, I heard the heel patters of the mustard doll inching behind me. The doll came to a stop and said,
"That gal from the shop."
"Oh, I'd forgotten," and she had to remind me. Then these two saucy sisters traded insults like blisters, and I insisted that just one of them speak. Here, the gal from the line said,
"That butcher was mine. I've been working on him for more than a week."
"How'd you track me?"
Then blustered, the doll decked out in mustard.
"From your tacky perfume,"
said the gal. That gal gave a snide sniff, and the doll said,
"As if."
As I longed for a better locale. As the clouds came unclustered, the doll decked out in mustard was breezed past by the gal growing hair. But before she had flown, she cried,
"Leave that butcher alone."
Or next full moon, you'll regret if you dare.
With our faces just blanks, I expected a thanks, but the doll asked me,
"Do you think I am smelly?"
My first thought withdrawn, I just said, "From now on, maybe get your meats at the deli."